Hello. I'm doing a video today about the creepy sex ed program in Ontario. Now mind you, before we start, I'm just here to inform you of what this sex ed program is about. I'm not here to tell you whether you should or shouldn't let your kids be involved in it. But know that you can opt out of the Ontario sex ed program. I don't think you can in BC and some other provinces, but in Ontario you can opt out. You opt your child out of it, and I think that would be something to consider once you find out what this video is about. It's in regards to a book I've seen on Facebook yesterday. A friend of mine had released some pictures from this book. I thought to myself, this can't be real. This has to be a joke or something along that line. It was real. I checked it out. I went to the site. It's called Katie's Safer Sex Guide, and it's from the Ontario Rainbow Health Society, okay? Or .org or whatever. I'm going to leave the links below for the LGBTQ one and the Katie's Sex Guide for Safer Sex. Now, this is being done on the ruse of disease transmission. But I think mostly what I have a problem with is the content. See, this is being shown to grade 1 through grade 8. And I think there should be different levels for grade 1 to, 4 and grade 4 to 6. And once they're in the grade 7 and 8, that's fine if they learn about this kind of thing. I just find the language very vulgar. And I find the content way, way out there for little kids. I'm going to explain what I'm talking about here. And I have some pictures to show you as well from the book. You can go get the book yourself. You can download it. It's, like I said, it's a government site, and it's not some made-up site. And it's for the Ontario Sex Ed program. And this is the kind of things they're going to be learning under the guise of disease prevention, usually like herpes and Hep C and AIDS and that sort of thing, right? Just know that back in my day, and I grew up as a child in the free love sexual revolution. It was totally like everybody was screwing everybody. It was just it was free love, right? And then when the 70s hit, I was hitting the teenagers stage, and basically we were under pressure to live up to the sexual revolution of the 60s. And so we learned a lot of crazy stuff too, but not in school. We learned it when it was appropriate, okay? It was the 70s, and yes, things were more progressive in the 70s, but not like it is today. And what scares me is this is all the elitist plan to take children from the families, okay? They're setting you up. They're subverting language. They're changing the Child Protection Acts and stuff to say that if you disagree with the child transgendering, you're a bad parent and you should lose your child. And this is the kind of stuff that they're doing to separate the family unit. A lot of people don't see it that way, but I do, because I grew up over the last 5+ eras or decades, and basically, yeah, it's gone crazy. And from the 80s, I noticed they were starting to do some really crazy stuff with the kids, and I wasn't okay with it, and I'm still not now. I'm really not okay with it. After reading this guide today, it was totally disgusting. And I think once you see the pages from this book, you're going to agree. So what I want to do right now is I want to show you some pictures out of this book, and I'm going to give some language from the book. Okay, this is not my language. This is not my bad language. This is from the book, okay? And yeah, it's disgusting. And I really think people ought to think about opting out of this program with their children, because for young kids to be seeing this or hearing this is off the wall, okay? Okay, so here we go. Now we have things like finger fucking, okay? Now, there's better words they could use than finger fucking, okay? Rimming. Well, I don't know if you know what that is. That's basically oral on someone's anal, okay? Eating ass, licking pussy, fucking, butt fucking, anal sex, which is a better word for butt fucking, fisting. This is the one I have a problem with, okay? Most adults shudder when you mention fisting. That's something only extreme sexual people do. This is not something that your average person or average child would think of doing. It's very, very painful, okay? And, you know, I've seen videos on it and stuff, and it's very nasty. So, I just don't think children in grade 1, 2, 3, and 4 and such should be learning this kind of thing. It's encouraging them to be sexual in ways they shouldn't, okay? Other stuff in the book are like golden showers, which is urinating. It was something, like I say, extreme people are into water sports, which is what it's called, and it's not something that your average person would do. The average person would find it pretty gross, actually, right? And then you get into shit play, which they call scatophilia, and that is also really nasty. And I don't think your average person is into that. I don't think your average person would want it and having their kids to have anything to do with that. Understand that they are sexualizing their children. Okay, and I'm not okay with it. This is why I'm doing this video. When I seen this on Facebook yesterday, I almost lost my lunch. Seriously, it was like, I cannot believe they are showing this to young children. Okay, young children who should be playing with dinky cars and Barbies and, you know, skipping rope and playing field or baseball and stuff like that. Kids should not be thinking along these lines. And, you know, what 6 and 7-year-olds have sex like this? I mean, kids, when they get sexual, it's more of an exploring. They explore, and they, you know, to me, back in my day, you know, when you were that age, hiding under the stairway and kissing each other was a huge deal. That was like awesome. It was huge, but it wasn't, you know, out and out sex like these kind of things that they want to teach kids. And, you know, putting condoms on vibrators and stuff, or teaching them how to make, you know, protection for the butt and stuff when they're having butt sex. I mean, that's stuff you would teach teenagers, okay? They would be more likely to get involved in that sort of thing. So I'm okay with teenagers learning that. Say, you know, 12, 13 and up kind of crew to learn that sort of thing would be a good time, because they're starting to get sexual. They're starting to get feelings. They're hitting puberty, and they're starting to grow internally and sexually, right? The little children, I'm sorry, I'm not okay with them learning this kind of thing. And I'm going, like I said, I'm going to leave the manual below. This manual, it's called Katie's Safer Sex Guide, and I just can't believe what they're doing, okay? This is way above and beyond sex ed. Like I was talking to a friend yesterday, and we were discussing that the sex ed was 2 charts. And it had a male and a female drawn out, and it showed you the parts like the uterus and the fallopian tube and the vagina and all that, and then the male, the penis and the testicles and all that, and the prostate and that kind of. That's how we learned in basic sex ed. It wasn't, you know, anything gross or nasty like this. And I know times have changed, but really have they changed that much? I mean, I know kids in this neighborhood who are in the, you know, 11, 12, 13-year-old, and they wouldn't even think of saying these words, let alone wanting to do those things, okay? And I can't picture, you know, myself, if I had gone home and used a lot of these words to my parents and told them I was learning that in school, I would have had my ass handed to me, okay? Literally, I grew up in a very strict Dutch foster home, and I would have had my ass handed to me if I said the word finger fucking or anal fucking or, you know, fisting and all that kind of, that's just not appropriate for little kids to be learning that kind of language. Now, mind you, some of this language might be modified, for the younger kids, but I see one book for all grades. I don't see another book with different language for children, so I don't know for sure that they are. My friend who posted this originally had said they do have different language for children, but I don't see it in that book. What I see is a book grown-ups would read, okay, or at least, like I said, teenagers in their, 13, 14, 15, 16, that kind of thing. But this kind of sexual activity is not things little children do. So why are they teaching little children this? Why are they pushing on them so soon? And why are the sex ed programs so descriptive? And like I said, I have no problem with acceptance, teaching them about gay and lesbian and trans people and such, so they know what they are and it's not a big deal. When I go to the mall, it's usually the parents making a big deal about me. It's not the kids, okay? The kids are like, man, it's no big deal, another transgender. Right? So it's like, and that's cool. I appreciate that, because it used to be kids would hide behind their parents when they seen us. So it's very, very good to see that acceptance being taught, and it's educational. But going to these levels with sex is a little much. I just find it a little much for young kids, and I don't know if you're going to agree. Like I said, you may have different feelings on the issue. You might not mind your young kids learning this kind of thing, but I know a lot of families who are not okay with their children learning this type of language, let alone those activities which are very for grown-up people. And especially things like water sports, fisting and that sort of thing. It's nasty, and it's very not okay for children to learn that, okay? So I just wanted to kind of do this video, hopefully to get parents to open their eyes. And again, I say, in Ontario, you can opt out your child from this sex ed curriculum. You are not forced at this time. Once Doug Ford is out of power, I'm sure that will change. But if you have young kids in school now, you might want to go to the website that I left below, check out Katie's Safer Sex Guide, because that's what they're going to be teaching your little children in grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? And I don't know, myself, I'm divided. I try to be liberal-minded. I try to say, okay, they need to learn about this. They need to know about sex and stuff. And they do, but, little kids aren't thinking about adult sex. And this is what gets me. Like I say, with kids, it's experimental. I've mentioned that I was having sex at 7 and 8 years old, but it was experimental sex. It wasn't grown-up sex. And it wasn't with grown-ups, it was with other kids my age. But the point is we were exploratory, and the kids don't think along these lines. And now they will be thinking along these lines, and that's what scares me. That's what bothers me. And I don't want people not knowing what their children are getting into, sending their kids to school, and find out later that they learned this stuff, because the school doesn't send like a book home for you to read over it to verify. They just teach these kids this stuff. They don't, And a parent in the States had taken the school, actually no, he complained to the school about his child learning these things. It ended up in court, and the judge told him, when you send your kid to school, you've abandoned them. You have abandoned them, and they are now property of the school, and they will teach them whatever they want to teach them. Basically, is what this father was told. I'm not okay with that. People's kids are still their kids. We pay taxes. Everyone who pays taxes pays for kids to go to school. They're not being abandoned. If you don't send your kid to school, you'll be jailed. So where's the fairness in that, right? So we need to, people, we need to get parents to stand up to this. Look, I'm someone who's lived in a lot of different situations. I've lived on the streets. I've lived, couch surfing. I lived at home where it's all secure and nice. I went to school, and I've met all kinds of different people, but I've never met anyone who would be okay with kids learning this kind of stuff. And I'm not okay with kids learning this kind of stuff. So I hope you'll share this video around. Again, I apologize for the language. The language was in the book. So they're going to hear and see the language anyway, your children, okay? But I want parents to understand what these schools are pushing on their children at such a young age. I'm not okay with it. I never will be, okay? Like I said, kids need to be kids, and I think we need to stop sexualizing them and making them into adults before their time. And most kids who grow up early and grow up as young adults before their time end up in one of that circumstance. Kids need that security of growing up in sections, going from Barbies to, outings and stuff with other kids and stuff where, they might kiss and stuff like that or whatever, but at least it's going in a succession, not just jumping them into finger fucking and anal fucking and peeing on each other, water sports and scat. Really, that kind of stuff is sick, okay? And I don't think little kids should be learning it. So I want you to go to the site, look at Katie's book. I put the pages in the video just to give you a quick look at them. You can go read the book, you can download the book, and share it with other parents and let them know that this is what Ontario kids are learning, okay? So anyway, I'm going to end this video because I'm feeling really ill right now. But I just wanted you to know what's going on, so you can make informed decisions for yourself. Like I said, some of you might be okay with this, and some of you might not be. A lot of you might not be. So you need to know what your kids are being taught before you make any decisions. Like I said, some parents might not mind, but I know most parents, if a child comes home talking like that, they're going to get their ass beat. So that, and again, is a double-edged sword for the kids. The kid's learning this in school, right? So it's not like you just picked it up off the street and brought it home. So there's a big difference here. So I just want you to be properly informed and let you know that, if you want to go get the book, you can. Also left the LGBTQ, IQ, or whatever, safe guide or whatever for sexual, sex ed program and what they're teaching the kids. So I left both sites below. I hope you will understand that things have gone really crazy right now, okay? And if you disagree with what they're saying or doing with your kids, they will call you an abusive parent and take your kids. So understand that it's not a good thing. And also I want you to understand that we have to protect our children to a degree. You don't want to overprotect them, obviously, but we have to protect them from this sort of thing. And like I say, some of it's okay. Like some of it's appropriate for kids to know, but a lot of it isn't for little kids to know. Maybe, like I said, teenagers is a different story, but little kids don't think of that kind of sex, okay? And if they are, then something went wrong somewhere. Anyway, I give a shout out to all my subscribers, my new subscribers. Thanks for joining my channel, and my viewers. And I hope you all guys got something out of this video today. We'll chat soon. Bye.